Peace fam, it's your brother Usman. I wanted to discuss canola oil briefly. This is an oil that most of you probably know about or use if you're still frying. This is an oil used in most consumer products on the market and again in most homes. We're going to see the origin and the potentials of this product so we can make some informed decisions, on whether, you should rock with it or not. All right, so let's jump into it. Now, before I start, I'm going to just address this right here. This is probably a basic or a popular article talking about canola oil being linked to brain functioning by way of worsened memory and learning ability, okay, in Alzheimer's disease. Number one, I'm not going to go into this because they're talking about how this oil affects the brain when the brain is already in a diseased state. And number two, this article is all over the place. Okay, when I see articles that are just basically copy and pasted, chopped and screwed and rehashed all over the internet, I tend not to use that science. Okay, I'm gonna just leave it there. So, but it might be something you want to look into. All right. Canola is a bright yellow flowering plant belonging to the Brassicaceae family. This family includes three different species: Brassica napus, B. rapa, and B. juncea. Originally from the Mediterranean area in northern Europe, B. napus is commonly known as rapeseed. Rapeseed was identified in 2000 BC as a high uric acid crop containing 40% uric acid in the oil. Due to concerns over uric acid content that stem from animal studies, high uric acid rapeseed oil used to be produced in North America solely in small quantities for industrial, non-food use. So the natural plant had such a high percentage of this oil that it was not safe, as they deduced from animal studies, to feed to people. Okay. In 1976, however, Canadian scientists were able to improve the quality of previous cultivars of rapeseed through traditional plant breeding, which led to a conversion to commercially consumable canola cultivars. So they basically did some plant engineering and came up with a canola cultivar or a canola plant that they could use for food grade production. In 1979, Canada registered the word canola to describe a new seed found in the oil, to be oil, which was low in uric acid and low in glucosinolates. By definition, canola oil has specific cutoff levels of uric acid. All right. So now we know how they came about this canola oil, this commercially available for human consumption canola oil. Now let's look into this uric acid. While studies done on laboratory animals in the early 1970s show that uric acid appears to have toxic effects on the heart at high enough doses, an association between the consumption of rapeseed oil and increased myocardial lipidosis, or heart disease rather, has not been established for humans. Now, it does not mean there are no risks or there are no effects. It just means that the FDA has not established any for people. While there are reports of toxicity from long-term use of Lorenzo's oil, which contains uric acid and other ingredients, there are no reports of harm to people from dietary consumption of uric acid. Publication of animal studies with uric acid through the 1970s led governments worldwide moving away from oils with high levels of uric acid, and tolerance levels for human exposure to the acid have been established based on the animal studies. Okay, now if you saw my video about animal biology being vastly different from human biology, you'll understand that this is very shaky ground when using animals to establish certain parameters, toxicity parameters for human beings. In some cases it works, in some cases it doesn't. Low uric acid rapeseed. Food grade rapeseed oil, also known as canola oil, rapeseed oil, low uric acid rapeseed oil, Lear oil, and rapeseed canola equivalent oil is regulated to a maximum of 2% uric acid by weight in the USA and 5% in the EU, with special regulations for infant food. So it's also put in infant food. But I will tell you, this oil, just about everything that you get, even processed food that is fried with this oil because it's one of the cheapest forms of oil, most cost efficient for businesses. So this is the oil that they use in a lot of processed food. Hence why processed foods, in addition to the other chemicals they use, the oil that they use to fry it in is potentially toxic as well, or can be at certain levels. Now, some of the slickness in how they do things is demonstrated here. We know that uric acid, okay, omega-9 acid used or basically derived from rapeseed oil. Rapeseed is the canola plant, basically. All right. Canola oil, or canola for short, is a vegetable oil derived from rapeseed that is low in uric acid as opposed to colza oil. There are both edible and industrial forms produced from the seed of any several cultivars of rapeseed, Brassicaceae family of plants, namely cultivars of Brassica napus. So, uric acid is produced naturally together with other fatty acids across a great range of green plants, but basically so in members of the Brassica genus. For industrial purposes and production of uric acid, rapeseed is used. That's the canola oil. For food purposes, a low uric acid rapeseed, Lear, has been developed. Okay, it's still the canola plant, which contains fats derived from oleic acid instead of uric acid. Okay, oleic acid is from the olive oil. Okay, a fatty acid that occurs naturally in various animals and vegetable fats and oils. Odorless, colorless oil through commercial samples may be yellowish in chemical terms. Also classified as a monounsaturated omega-9 fatty acid. So it's not from olive oil, it is from animal and vegetable oils. Okay. However, what they simply do to produce this low uric acid rapeseed oil is simply mix it with other animal oils or vegetable fat oils or vegetable oils. Okay, so they just basically dilute the rapeseed plant. Now they do supposedly have a cultivar, which is they breed out or they breed into different genuses of plants to make this oil, to make the actual canola plant produce less uric acid. But how much less is very difficult to find. And if it is a lot less, then what is there the need to dilute this hybrid plant, this canola plant, which is supposed to be, again, the reduced acid breed? Why then do you need to further dilute it with different types of vegetable or animal fat oils? Okay, so just something to think about. Now, there are some reported benefits of canola oil. So the point in this is just to have you weigh the options, because you can get these benefits from flaxseed or nuts or avocados or even olive oil. The benefits that are going to be briefed over here. So the point is, do you want to get those benefits with a bioengineered product that has to be engineered so that it is not as dangerous as it could be, or do you want to get them from natural sources? That's the point of this whole presentation, okay? And to give you a small amount of information, or to give you a general amount of information to make that determination. Canola oil-based diets have been shown to reduce plasma cholesterol levels in comparison with diets containing higher levels of saturated fatty acids. Consumption of canola oil also influences biological functions that affect various other biomarkers of disease risk. Previous reviews have focused on the health effects of individual components of canola oil. Here, the objective is to address the health effects of intact canola oil, as this has immediate practical implications for consumers, nutritionists, and others deciding which oil to consume or recommend. A literature search was conducted to examine the effects of canola oil consumption on coronary heart disease, insulin sensitivity, lipid peroxidation, inflammation, energy metabolism, and cancer cell growth. Data revealed substantial reductions in total cholesterol and low-density lipoprotein cholesterol, as well as other positive actions, including increased tocopherol levels and improved insulin sensitivity compared with consumption of other dietary fat sources. In summary, growing scientific evidence supports the use of canola oil. Growing scientific evidence. Beyond its beneficial actions on circulating lipid levels as a health promoting component of the diet. Okay, so again, you make the determination.